So today, if you look at it, AI is being used at three places. One is regenerative content, one is identity AI, and then one is agentic AI.
Different AI tools can do different parts, let's say, of a process. But Agentic AI is bringing all of that together.
AI is the internet of today. What was computer to one generation and internet to the another generation, AI is that to us today.
We have a tunnel vision with AI solutions.
Have you seen any reluctance to adopt AI also in agencies?
So I put that into a framework called as hiccup, patience and laziness.
For disclosure of AI generated content, there are no regulatory guidelines. So you fall back on your ethics. And ethics are something that's defined between stakeholder relationships.
I will not leave writing client emails. They can go drastically wrong. One of my friends, when event agency founder, he said, I have fired all my copywriters. I don't need a copywriter.
AI is making lazy people lazier, but those who are ahead of the curve, they are doing a lot with it.
See, AI is not replacing you. It is making your jobs faster.
Hello everybody. AI is, as we know, no longer optional. It's changing how campaigns are run, reputations are managed, and creativity is delivered. So how do you stay relevant when the playbook simply keeps changing? And joining me are two sharp minds at the forefront of this change. Shradha Agarwal, the global CEO of Grapes, the integrated marketing agency she co-founded in 2015, and Hemant Gaule, the former CEO of the School of Reputation and now with Adfactors PR. Thanks Shradha and Hemant for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Let's start with you, Hemant. Which profile of professionals do you feel are using AI most effectively today?
If somebody is, let's say, in the 3 to 5 year experience range, they have the right kind of knowledge of doing some of the things that AI will do, and now getting AI to do that for them. Right? And you see that across the PR industry. In fact, if you're slightly younger than that, I get a feel that people who graduated from colleges in the last couple of years, they were severely handicapped because they entered a workforce where they had AI at their disposal, but not necessarily the motivation to use anything but AI. So develop those own skills by themselves and then deploy AI to be able to do that. But anybody more senior than them, they did those things by themselves first. And now they can delegate it to AI or other people.
And there is, Shradha, such an explosion in AI and AI applications. Where are you seeing this going?
So today, if you look at it, AI is being used at three places. One is regenerative content, one is identity AI, and then one is agentic AI. So when you look at regenerative, everybody is using it. You, me, them, kids. Like my daughter today actually was sitting on my ChatGPT and she saw that I had created an agentic AI, which was Mr. Arya Jyotish, who's my astrologer. And she was like, can I ask her something? And I was like, I don't want you to, fiddle with my training of this particular person that I've done in the past 2 months. Why don't you create your own agentic AI? So she actually named that person and now started asking questions to him saying that, okay, how is my day looking like? What kind of stuff I'm doing? But I had to actually instruct in the settings that, please never suggest anything incorrect. Always keep it in the fun zone because she's 11-year-old. Right? So everybody will start using regenerating content through it, like how he was also talking about the youngsters who just joined the workforce using it in some way. AI is the internet of today. What was computer to one generation and internet to the another generation, AI is that to us today. So everybody will start using it. The best usage will come with agentic AI. When they will literally act as humans, like you're saying. So I don't need an EA anymore. It will automate things for me. It will book my travel. It will respond to my WhatsApp, my emails. It will create default PPTs for me. That's when the best usage of AI will come to place.
And how far are we from that?
I don't think beyond 6 to 1 year of adoption. It's already existing. There are multiple tools which are already doing this. But the problem is we are still adopting to the first 2 phases of AI. Another 8 to 12 months, will be talking about agentic AI.
And in terms of agentic AI, the technologies have existed. To a certain degree, different AI tools can do different parts, let's say, of a process. But agentic AI is bringing all of that together. And AI organizations are also becoming more experimentative and more risk-taking with what agents can do.
Right, but what could be holding back the adoption?
So browsing is an easy thing to do. So that was the first thing that got tackled. And on the other end of the spectrum of this control that AI agents have could be transactions, like monetary transactions and stuff like that. And the downside of going wrong there is much bigger. So the question for AI organizations is, do we want to take that risk? How do we manage that risk, not just for ourselves, but also for the user who's doing that? The other thing is just inherently how agents are built. They are allowed to go online. They are allowed to access the internet and maybe conduct some research or something like that. But it's tricky to call them back. It's tricky to help them decide where does that process end, what's the appropriate amount of time and interaction online they should do before they come back.
Okay.
And they could, theoretically speaking, they could access the internet infinitely. And therefore, that doesn't help anybody.
Have you seen any reluctance to adopt AI also in agencies?
So I put that into a framework called as hiccup, patience and laziness. Okay. So the hiccup of trying anything new is what is barring them to just start and try. The second thing, as he also mentioned, right, the problem is patience. It's a new product. Anything to work, you have to put in effort for that to work.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is constantly, every kid that you speak to in your office, right, they come to you and say, I tried it, it took me 4 hours, I could have finished that work manually in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You wasted 2 hours of mine trying that, now I have to put 2 hours again to put that work to finish, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting down and having the patience to put the first 4 hours, which is 3x or 4x of the manual time that could have been taken.
Yeah.
Then last one is laziness. You could use AI, you could get the output, you don't want to check it. Right. AI has done the job. I am not going to cross-check it. I'm going to send it as it is. And then the person in front of you, isn't this by AI?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can make out actually. You can make out.
Yeah.
So how are you using AI to solve clients' problems?
Oh, multiple ways. Multiple ways. Okay. So if I give you very small examples, like I have almost 9 Agentic AI agents who are working with me for my work, right? So I have a travel assistant, I have an astrologer, I have a gynae, I have a nutritionist, I have my
physician, coach.
I have my EA. So these are like working with me personally. Then I have a NBD manager who creates my proposal. I have a PR journalist who basically writes on my behalf, because my team, when they were writing, they were not able to get my tonality.
Yeah.
So I have multiple such agents, and I keep just dropping them voice notes. Best. Except for the fact they can't get proper nouns. Like if I say somebody's name or a brand name, they'll always mistake. There'll be mistakes in that. But otherwise, the voice clarity,
I'm finding that works perfect. No mistake at all.
Amazing, no mistake. And I can drop them like a 4-minute, 5-minute voice note. It will structure it. It will give me an answer in the tonality I like. It will always remember it, and it will give me the output. I would not have to change more than 2 words.
And you keep all these agents on one side?
On one side, absolutely. So they're all named. They all have their names, and I have like my EA is Donna Paulson from Suits.
Of course.
And recently I figured out something which was very, very interesting. So I used to think that, okay, let's say if I have to tell my travel agent that every time you send me a proposal or the places to go, right, for my next trip, always give me an Instagram link and a website link so that I don't have to look for it, right? I would like to check what's happening on the Instagram. And I was thinking in my head that if I have to tell this to a human, they will end up making this mistake multiple times. But if I tell this to my agent, he will not, right? Because he will learn it in one go. But apparently, these guys are not learning it in one go. So he made that mistake 3-4 times, and he always kept saying, sorry, Shradha, I'll ensure that I'm giving you the website link and the Instagram link the next time. I kept telling them, don't put dashes in my copies, right? But they still keep doing that.
But it has a memory, no? So how come?
No, but that's what they're not cracking. So now the trick to that is, there is a section called as settings in your ChatGPT. And if you want something like this to be followed through and through, for example, don't put dashes, because everybody knows that if you put dashes, that means you've written it through ChatGPT.
Right.
If you've used rhyming words together, this and this, this and this is typical ChatGPT language, right? So you can go to the settings and give that as a default instruction to them. And you can also give them instruction not to hallucinate, because if you tell them, this is a great thing to do. Give me 10 reasons why I should do it. They'll give you 10 reasons why should you do it. So for example, I was telling them I want to go to Turkey this summer in July. It's my birthday. Tell me why should I go to Turkey? It gave me 10 reasons to go to Turkey. I said, are you idiot? Sorry, pardon my French. But let's say, you know the temperature there. It makes no sense to go. I would be sitting inside the hotel for the whole day. Why are you suggesting me this? He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to go to Turkey, so I just suggested you that. So they also hallucinate. So you need to tell them, stop hallucinating and tell me the bold truth.
Tell me, in PR, reputation management, what are the areas where AI is still to be used, the untapped potential?
There are two areas where there's a lot more to be done. One is in terms of analyzing sentiments of conversations and opinions that are being formed about your brand. I think in terms of creating meaningful, scalable engagement solutions for clients, I think what we have done so far is only scratch the surface.
Tell me one or two things you've seen companies of late do which probably others have not tried, which could be a learning for all of us.
So there are organizations that are using the AI's capability to create content in a variety of languages at scale and unique custom messages for a variety of people. And that takes shape in various ways. One of the organizations, one of the leading Indian conglomerates is doing that to convey leadership opinions to their people spread across the country in their own messaging and languages. You will probably see a lot of chatbots and customer care ecosystems being empowered by AI. I'm sure if you call some of these organizations, I called Saffron Stays a couple of weeks ago, and I knew that I was speaking to an AI, and it was extremely sophisticated.
Yeah.
Just the way you have the voice on those chats, most people won't be able to tell that you're speaking to an AI.
Did you fall in love?
Absolutely not. Because my issue didn't get solved, so if she had solved
Let me
it,
take the AI home.
exactly. But you know, there's a whole range of these things. So the scale, I think, is still not being tapped. I think we are looking at we have a tunnel vision with AI solutions. I think the kind of scale that one can achieve and custom messages spreading those messages to various stakeholders, I think that's just a very untapped potential right now.
Tell me, at the agency, what are those things that you would not actually leave to AI?
I will not leave writing client emails. You know, they can go drastically wrong, and they might just fiddle around with some messaging that could go way off the track. It happened to one of the emails that was written by AI, where they wrote the wrong name itself.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously the person was a long mail, he didn't check, laziness kicked in. And then that is something that I definitely don't want. There has to be a manual check. I think everything below the manual check as the last can be done with AI. There's no question to this. Like one of my friends who an event agency founder, he said, I have fired all my copywriters. I don't need a copywriter. My client servicing or my project guys are doing the copywriting job. They don't have to make campaigns which are like TVC or digital stuff which needs to drive engagement. They are like simple copy for events, right? So that's a very big thing, right? Creatives are being replaced a lot by AI, right? That's also important. But the challenge with creative is it does customization as per your brand. So a creative work is only reduced by 50%. Business analysis is being done a lot of by AI. Proposals, deck, etc. is being done a lot. I think ORM is a big piece which has not been cracked. In fact, I genuinely feel that online reputation management, if AI does it well, so what happens? There are 3 types of comments that you get. One is great, awesome, love it, like it. We don't even respond to them, right? Because who will sit down and respond to 1,000 such comments?
But AI can handle that.
AI can handle that. Now imagine you wrote, I love this, and say, hey Ramni, you are awesome, baby, I love it too. And now you'll feel like responding back to me. So all of a sudden, one comment has converted into 3 comments. That means my overall mentions on internet will increase and my sentiments will go up. So the percentage of sentiment and positivity will also go up, right? So that is something that I really want AI to do. The second thing is, we keep writing answers to all the queries that comes in from ORM perspective, but we don't respond to them a lot of time, or we keep going back to the brand manager. So I have a new ORM guy, he doesn't know the answers, he look for a book, then he go back to the client and say, okay, tell me the answer for this. But if AI is trained, he's not going anywhere. He can answer to all the queries that you want. The only thing that I'll not let him handle is a critical query. Why? Because let's say a person in Tamil Nadu is speaking in some language and is creating ruckus about how the product reached to him is, default or faulty, and then this AI does not understand that sentiments and does something incorrect at that moment and is not manipulative enough, then we can go.
So the local sentiments.
Yeah, pop culture references, the way you talk, because this person will be polite and will write up 3 paragraphs, whereas you know that this is the time to pick up the phone and make him settle down. So those are stuff like that. I think we should. SEO could be great with AI. SEO would be amazingly well with AI. PR will be great with AI. Getting your articles done, etc. Tech, you don't need half of the coders now. That would be great with AI.
Are clients asking for videos also to be made by AI?
Yeah,
Is that happening?
I just did a B2B video for US client. I did a video for a fintech client in Dubai. Everybody wants to move to AI because they said that what is the point of shooting with 10,000 people? I can't change the setting. So let's say this is the setting here. I want to take a video of this sofa. I can change the setting 100 times. With the shoot, I can't do that. I think it is going to take care of a lot of things. It's just sensitive matters when you're responding to a client who's paying you, or to a riff-raff client, or basically the audience who's not happy with you. Just stay away from there. Then it's fine.
Has AI played a role in your scaling up?
Yes.
How?
Revenue has gone up.
What all did you use it? I mean,
for
in
all
your
this that
scaling
I
up
just
for all
mentioned,
this.
Absolutely. Every department is using it. We have literally created a tool where we have custom workflows for us now. And we're creating agents now. So we're literally building up agents where we are saying, okay, here's your social calendar for this month. Give me 500 images, and then you can select what 100 images you put it up on the night. In the morning, you'll have 500 images ready. Your whole calendar is done. Now imagine a client who was paying me hypothetically 3 lakh rupees a retainer. I can just do this work for 50,000 rupees.
Yeah. You spoke of SEO, but now it is about GEO, Generation Engine Optimization, that we are hearing of. How are companies readjusting their planning for this?
So your web SEO, which was the original SEO that you were doing, it started with domain authority, backlinking, content, etc. Then it moved completely to content. So if your website has good content quality, it doesn't matter how many backlinks you have, right? The generation SEO is all about backlinks. 75% is backlink, 25% is your content on web. So that means I need to get more and more backlinks for you, and from good domain authority. To get those backlinks, I need to get more PR, content seeding done. Because if you look at any article today, how does a LLM answer your question? So even if you go to Perplexity, they will say, okay, this is your question, here are pointers, and this pointer has been picked from this website, this pointer has been picked from this website, this pointer has been picked from this website. That means you need to seed your content in all these websites with a do follow tag so that they can be crawled. So the whole SEO game has gone back to creating more and more content on other websites.
And I think organizations are, it's also a cyclic process between publishers and search organizations. So publishers, navigate the algorithm a little bit. The search organizations have to tweak the algorithm a little bit in order to respond to it. So when it became very clear for Google and other search engines that a lot of people are going to be creating a lot of content that's driven by AI, right? So they started making tweaks to their algorithm in the essence that they would read the overall essence and other value that the article or a blog post might provide. And then publishers had to change their approach as well. So for example, for our previous organizations, we changed the nature and the structure of a blog post that was written for mostly a human to something that was mostly written for an AI to read and understand something. So like Shradha said, that you got a question that you're looking for on search engines, and you have those sub questions and you're trying to answer it for an AI, right? And now Google is coming up with some pretty major tweaks that will de-rank articles that are purely written for search optimization. So it's going to keep the cyclical process is going to keep continue for a while till we actually get to a sort of an equilibrium.
Do you?
Yeah, but I find that very unfair. So YouTube and Instagram both had made these comments that they're going to actually devalue or not pay creators who are going to create content through AI.
Right.
Guys, there's so many businesses who were early adopters in traditional way. I was the first one to build a steel plant in a certain state because that state did not have that. I should be paid for that. They should be happy they're using AI and creating content. Why are you demonetizing them? They're smarter than you. You could not catch up. It's not their fault. So,
I have a different point. Do you disclose if a content is AI generated? Or do you feel the need to disclose that?
Why? What is wrong with the AI generated content? Let's be honest about it. I am not forcing you to watch my content. I'm not putting a gun on your head. I'm not bribing you. If you find value in the content that I've generated, whether it's my face or my auntie's face or my cat's face or my AI face, how does it matter? What's wrong with the AI content?
When do you feel the need to disclose? When is it important to disclose?
If it is anywhere interfering with the authenticity of the content or the emotional value of the content. So let's say if I'm talking to somebody on phone and I am assuming that is a person, it's incorrect. You should know that all my chat boys are from AI. Fine. So I'm not going to treat that person like a human. Or if you're giving me wrong content. So let's say if I'm working with a client whose forefather was a great doctor in sexual wellness. He is very camera shy. But the grandson wants to work around a way where we have all his data and we can at least make videos out of that. So he's going to give me bites, his books, his notes, and can I create an AI avatar and give? There's nothing wrong with that content. It's all original content by the doctor. So why should I be demonetized for that or punished for that? Yeah. I'm using technology to bring in content that person could have never given to the world. Look at that as a benefit. So that's my point of view on that one.
So in this hyper-transparent world we live in today, what reputational risks do you see using AI?
See, it is very well merged with the ethics, right? Using somebody's picture without their permission or creating content which is not approved by that person is incorrect. Like one of the great campaigns which won Cannes also was about how a kid identity was stolen. Through AI was converted into an 18-year-old. The content was being generated. Now imagine this kid walking into an airport when she is 14, 15-year-old and is being captivated because some content with face recognition was being done somewhere as a crime and now she is deported or she is detained, right?
Yeah.
That is really, really scary.
From an organizational perspective, I think one of the biggest, most vulnerable groups are publicly listed companies that there's a lot of damage that can be done to their market capitalization, to the kind of other regulatory exposure that they have by stuff like this, right? And while it could be short-lived, but even during that period, there's a substantial amount of damage that can be done through deep fakes, through data leaks. That's the other thing, since coding and the understanding or access to technological architecture has become so relatively more democratic thanks to AI. Organizations have to build stronger, more robust systems to protect the data that they hold. And because if that doesn't happen, there's all sorts of damage that can be done.
Yeah. You're using AI to also monitor reputational risks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what we were discussing about ORM, right? That you have to ensure that it is being used in the right direction to identify what's happening and then response in the right direction. Because if that is taken care of, it can actually become a boom or a boon. So it's in an individual hand. But I genuinely feel that, we are all aware about this. Like I was watching a series yesterday, it was very funny. So there was this court case happening where a guy said, these are the 5 culprits who has actually robbed me. And I recognize them, okay? And then the advocate comes and he said, are you sure these are the 5 guys? What were each one of them doing? And he says this, oh, then the case cannot be held against them. He was like, why? Because it's a 391 case, it's not a 390 case. If 5 people have robbed you, it's the cat. It's not robbery. And the case had to be adjourned and the guys have to be put on bail. So now the point is that, let's say if AI ends up doing anything wrong to us, right? And if you know the rules of this, there will be sections that has to be monitored. So at every level, I think government needs to start putting a lot of effort in directions which says, can you figure out a way whether this is AI, whether this is original human? Because you're already taking so many scans of my face. Like today in the morning, I used my iPhone. I was telling my kid, tell me whether it will recognize my face if I put a face pack. And I had a face pack on, right? And it did recognize me. Right? So that means there are ways to figure out if it is the real person, if it's an AI person, and government needs to put in so much effort in terms of putting that data through and then take actions. And that's how we can save half of our effort going in the wrong way.
Yeah, so in the PR world, I think there are a lot of incentives and a lot of resources and capability to start using AI for reputation risk monitoring. And I think a lot of organizations are doing some incredible work there. I can talk about Adfactors PR. We have a tool called Kalki, for example, that monitors reputational exposure real time. And what's unique about that is that it's able to monitor it from a variety of sources which could influence reputation in different ways. And it's also able to sift through a lot of noise which otherwise can confuse our understanding of the reputational impact of any activity that's going on. And we were able to test it to a certain degree in the recent airline tragedy that happened. There were a lot of things being said about that, specifically how that impacted different stakeholder groups. I think this tool was a great asset in discovering that kind of exposure, and it can do that in a proactive way as well. And it's at the base of it, the technology is pretty, one could say that it's accessible to everybody, that it's analyzing what a piece of content means, whether it's on a major news outlet or on a comment section of a forum. Putting all of that together requires a bit of an effort from our side. But I think identifying and mapping sources is where the real science is, and giving them a respective weightage, that for this context, these combination of sources are more credible and more relevant to us, and for another could be a different set. And I think that's where the real difference in terms of reputation monitoring could be made.
Let's come to examples where AI really made a difference, solved a problem, or maybe even created a problem. So give me an example first of a solution which was simply out of the ordinary.
Creating brand ambassadors for your brand, which we are currently doing for a couple of our clients. We have actually replaced our last actress because she had grown old and we could not find a better one than her. And there was a challenge with the category because a lot of people were not okay being the brand ambassador for the category, right? So we created a human AI, made workflows around her, and now she's the brand ambassador and works fantastically well. We made her social media profile, we're creating a TVC with her, we are going to have packaging with her. So it really solved our purpose, and she doesn't say no to whatever we want to do, right? We similarly created a dog for a very big retail chain. And now imagine shooting with animals. It's so difficult, right?
Yeah.
Shooting with babies are so difficult. I remember one of my clients where we used baby, and the kid was not getting up. So the mom literally pinched the kid. Yeah, that is so bad, right? I was feeling bad and the mom wasn't. So that he could cry and give me a crying scene and then soothe the kid out for the next scene. So I think all that can be easily now done with AI. So I think that's a big advantage of using AI, specifically in areas where it is difficult to shoot with certain people. And you're not shooting with them, you're torturing them. Let's be honest about it, right? Yeah. So that's something that I really believe is a good example.
Any example?
I think there are a number of them. I think one of the best repositories that I've seen is the Cannes Creative Submissions website, and the winners are truly stellar. But one of the ones that really resonated with me was from a couple of years ago, where a Mexican publication used the digital avatar of a journalist who was killed by the narcos ecosystem there, and the campaign, I'm sure I'm getting this wrong, but campaign was something on the lines of "the dead can't be silenced," and they created a digital avatar of that journalist, and that digital avatar would now report news, because you can't kill that person, and that's the biggest risk that journalists face over there, of reporting the truth about the narcotics ecosystem. And I think that was just a perfect execution of AI.
Give me an example where AI actually got things wrong because it missed a nuance, or it was not sensitive.
I have one very good example. I don't remember between who, Swiggy or Zomato, one of them did it. Or Blinkit or somebody. Okay, so there was this woman who got a notification saying, you just ordered a sexual illness, a pregnancy test kit or something. There's another discount for you to buy it again today, right? And she took a screenshot and I never ordered it. What are you talking? Are you trying to say that I had sex and now I need a pregnancy test strip? And you want me to give a discount on that, right? So it was hilarious. It went viral. obviously the brand apologized and everything, and they said you must have done something. But let's be honest about the fact that if I ask you 3 questions, which nobody wants to accept today in the world, is are you happy? You'll say nahi, bhagwan ki din hai, sab chal raha hai, acha chal raha hai. Do you have money? Nahi, I'm comfortable. Did you have a great sex last night? What are you talking? Yeah. You have no rights in this business, right? So nobody wants to accept you're happy, you have money, and you had great sex life. Similarly, like this girl doesn't want to tell you that I'm using my pregnancy test strips, right? And that's where I think the whole AI can go really wrong in cultural nuances of sections. In US, if this must have happened, it would have not been a challenge.
Matter,
in certain age groups, it can be a challenge. Imagine if my kid was doing something like this, and then I get a notification like that, and she didn't realize that because she deleted all history and everything. So this can go drastically wrong there. I think they have to be a little more careful about certain categories or topics when they are trying to put things in use.
In fact, I think that's what you have seen a lot in when AI is being deployed for scale, for achieving scale and not so much accuracy, like in comment sections of brands where AI is supposed to respond to things. And they've just been briefly trained that if somebody says this keyword, then you respond in a certain way. But then there are people who are trying to game that system by putting that keyword so that the AI bot responds. But there's a bunch of other nonsense in there, and they're forcing the AI tool to respond in that way to something that's completely irrelevant to the brand. So I think, and those are, I think some of those things are aspects that brands will only discover once they make that mistake.
Yeah, totally. Any other example you want to share?
I think one of the campaigns that I was talking about where a child was, taken, used as an avatar, and then the age was increased, and then videos were being sent back to the family that I've been kidnapped, or the voice was being cloned. I think that's a very big example of how AI can scare the shit out of you, because imagine you getting a call from your daughter or your son saying that I am in trouble, and you know that person will not be able to call you, and the phone might get switched off after that, and that one voice note sent to you through
really
AI
can
really panic the shit out of you. And people don't understand that today our healths are not great. One panic can lead to a cardiac arrest and you might die, right? And for no fault of that kid who was actually studying in school, right? So I think education is very important. We should educate everyone about the fact that if this happens, do free cross checks like this before you panic.
Let's move on to rapid fire for your quick, sharp insights on some of the things. You spoke of AI agents. How can people train their own AI agents?
So give them a name, tell them the starting instructions, go to the setting, change the stuff that you're looking forward to do, and then start dropping voice notes. Because once they have, let's say, 50 or 100 voice notes of various questions and answers, first they'll understand what kind of tone that you have, what are the kind of words you use, how do you structure your answers, and then they'll be able to amalgamate your styling of answers and information on the net together to give you a good piece of information.
Start writing an SOP for everything that you do. Start writing your own thought process in a manner and a structure that AI can learn from. And I think you should start doing that even before you have the need for it.
One operational issue that you think AI agents are facing or will face?
I think size of the action that they can take and the number of free credits that are available right now, I think that's limiting a lot of people.
Free credits. I think it's expensive. It's not easy, cheap to use AI right now. Every request to the server is expensive, and hence trial and error becomes a lot more difficult. And currently the stage of the tool are that it is in trial and error phase, because you're not able to have no content piece, at least in the form of a multimedia format, can give you an output which is anywhere above 75%, because you want absolutely those impressions. So if you look at a normal video on Instagram coming through it, you'll be like, oh my God, AI can do so much. But when you start applying it for your brand in a specific scenario with a specific color, specific situation, RTB, etc., it will fail you, right? You need to understand that the output will only be 70%. And then 30% have to be met by you. So that's where the learning needs to be there, and then next steps needs to be done.
That was the next question also, that one thing AI can never replace in our profession, which is at 30%.
And I think it will go up to a 90% also in certain case scenario, but the 10% control has to be with a human. See, AI is not replacing you. It is making your jobs faster. So you can do more in a day. everybody wants to do more in a day. Now that's why work-life balance was being introduced, so that you work 8 hours, you party 2 hours, you do this much. AI is just making you do more in a day. Why is it bad?
Boldness of disagreeing with somebody and being able to say it in as clear terms as possible.
One AI tool that you would recommend using?
I think for beginners, everybody should start using ChatGPT just to train their identity and then use it for multiple purposes. Then domain-specific tools are really relevant. Like for creative team, I would recommend Flora Fauna. It's an aggregator platform which actually combines all AI tools available, and you can choose which AI tool, what output do you want, and it's a brilliant UI UX. Then WriteSonic in case you're a copywriter. Then there are multiple such tools that can be used from a domain perspective, and you should actually start evolving from ChatGPT to that very soon, because then you'll see the power of that tool coming in your hands.
Right.
Yeah. My answer to this question will probably change every week because there's something new always happening in the world of AI.
Yeah.
I should point out that Google AI Labs is always rolling out some really incredible AI possibilities which might be relevant for a small group of people, but maybe you belong to that group. But this last 1 week, I've been dabbling with GenSpark, which is an agent that builds upon the capabilities of large language models like GPT or Gemini or whatever, but then it brings all of that together to create some incredible output, like from slides to documents to websites to podcasts to video, audio, all of it in one space. And I think that has an incredible potential.
If you're hiring somebody for digital marketing, what skills are you looking for?
Ownership.
Oh, okay.
In Gen Zs,
Fundamental.
millennials are born with it. Gen Z's first thing I ask, do you have ownership? And then I give them case scenarios of how they'll behave in that particular thing. Second, aspirations. This whole funda of work-life balance that has been ingrained in everybody's mind, I think is hopeless. Tell me, as a kid, you were sent to school, told to slog just to move out to get an admission in a good college. Then you slog in college to be number one and get a good placement. How come after you place you don't have to work and you don't have to slog? So I definitely check for people who are so-called looking for too much work-life balance. I'm not denying, please go and enjoy your life, have that fun, but not in the name of work-life balance.
Yeah.
I think I've always looked for communication skills, but there's a different dimension to it. If you're articulate enough with people, there's a good chance you're articulate enough with technology. And if you can do that, you can probably use it for a variety of things. So that just this new dimension of communications skills has just become super important now.
So how do you keep upskilling the people then? So much of reading you're saying.
Yeah.
How are people upskilling? Reading?
So what I've done is I've identified early adopters in my team. Because everybody is not up for it. There's so many operational stuff that you have to do in a week, in that 60, 90, 80 hours, whatever number of hours you work in a week, right? So you need to find early adopters who are intrigued by doing this, who are ready to try and do this. They will figure out what's the best and the newest stuff happening today in the world, create a SOP and roll it out to the rest of the team. That's the best way to do this.
But that's maybe for a lot of, like you say, early adopters or youngsters. What about the senior professionals who started before the AI explosion research? How, and there would be many like that.
From a senior perspective, I think for us, again, if I go back to the whole piece of hiccup, patience and laziness, old people should figure out the hiccup to do it. Because what is happening is, I know a lot of people who are at least above the age of 50, they are getting people to do this job for them. They're not trying it themselves. So there's a huge hiccup challenge. People in the age group of 40, like a lot of founders I know, in the age group of 40s are very open to try it, but they are constantly asking for SOPs to try it, right? They don't want to sit and research on it. So the challenge of 50-year-old is hiccup. The challenge of 40-year-old is trial and research, right? The 30-year-something is open because they know they'll not get a job. Right? And the 20-year-old is very cool with it. They are finding it like another app, a new social media app that they have to find fun with it. So that's how the age groups in general, I'm not again becoming a racist. There must be some 50-year-old
I'm
who's trying to hit the best.
I'm sure.
But in general, this is what I've seen as a pattern. So I think AI should start penetrating very well and should be taught in the right way, in the right manner to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Is how I'll put it.
Yeah. You start algebra, start Canva.
Exactly. A, B,
Lovely. Lovely talking to both of you, Shradha, Hemant. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. It was really nice being on this couch.
From smarter content to sharper crisis response, from ethical questions to game-changing tools, this conversation offered a reality check and a glimpse into the future of our craft. A big thank you to Shradha and Hemant for being so candid and sharing their insights today. And to everyone tuning in, AI isn't here to replace us, but to push us to be better at what only we as humans can do. See you next time on Comms and Conversations.